Here we go.
Ooh, it says yay on the side.
We've started the broadcast.
Wow.
I can't see any of the. All right, here we go. All right, now I can see the. Am I crooked? Am I good, y'all?
No, I
It
think
looks
you're
straight to
good.
me.
Yeah, you're good.
All right.
Well, we can see on the side who's here.
It shows you on the side who's here. We're gonna give everybody a couple more seconds to log on to the show.
Oh wow, I can't see all that. Y'all got the
You
upgrade
can see
version
it.
of it.
I think it's because I'm on my computer and I went
Oh
to getvocal.com, so it's showing me everything.
yes, that's what I should
Mhm.
do. Do you have a Mac or?
Uh-huh.
I was trying to figure out how to download it on there, but it wasn't working for me because I would have preferred that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, your little sit up over there is looking real ready.
I know. You.
Sorry, y'all. Drama is in me, so.
Like,
Nothing wrong with
okay,
that.
okay, set the atmosphere. Okay,
I'll
show.
see.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Okay.
No, nothing wrong at all.
Look, this thing don't get no use, so I just brought her out. I said she get her shine. She only got her shine one day. My bouquet.
Is that your bouquet?
Yeah.
Oh, that is
Aw,
so dope.
that is. Mine is very dead somewhere in a landfill.
He said very dead.
It's gone.
Look, my friend made this one for me. It has I don't know if we want to save that. Well, no, because we ain't really talking about that question. But all the brooches that are on here were my grandmother's and my mom. And my
Oh, that's
Wow.
grandma deceased, so that was like my piece of her at the wedding.
Aw,
that was
that's
cute.
sweet.
Yeah.
Aren't y'all ready?
Sure.
We go live in 5. I'm just playing. We already live. Hey y'all. What's up, you guys? You're watching Kicking It with Keish. My name is Keisha Carter, and I am your host of Soul Sundays, 6 p.m. slot, Kicking It with Keish on GetVocal.com. Today, today's show title is Young and Married. And I have two of these amazing young ladies that I know personally. And they are not Corona brides. Let's go ahead and
No.
toss that out the window. These two young ladies are not Corona brides. They did not have to do their bridal experience during Corona. That's what I mean by Corona brides. Now, these two young ladies have gotten married within the last how many
Year or
years?
so.
Mine is 3.
I'm about to say, Taylor, didn't you just
Yeah.
have an anniversary pass?
In January, yeah. So it's been 3 years for me. Going on 4.
Okay. 3 going on 4, and then how many for you, Samil?
So 2 married, and we're about to approach our wedding anniversary in November. So
Nice.
that'll be 1 year wedding, 2 year married.
Oh,
Nice.
that's cute.
Ooh.
So, again, guys, if you're watching me, do me a quick solid favor. Wait, not right now. After the show. After the show, go over to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube, as well as make sure you're subscribed to my Get Vocal channel. Follow me on Instagram at InstaKeish, Keesh. Miss Taylor Garner, Mrs. Taylor Garner.
Mhm.
Her Instagram is at Taylor.Denise, and Denise is spelled D-A, N as in Nancy, N as in Nancy, I, S as in sugar, E.
Mhm.
And then Miss Emile, her Instagram name is at Royal_Palm, as it is showing under her screen on her name.
Mhm.
Now, follow them, follow me. So if I'm not mistaken, all of us have YouTubes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Subscribe to all of our YouTube channels as well. YouTube promo, subscribers up. Now,
Yeah,
our first business promotion of the show is my godbrother, His name is Jonathan Blake. He is a basketball player, entrepreneur. He started an athletic line called We Some Workers. And if you listen to my podcast on iTunes or any other the other podcast platforms, you've heard me mention We Some Workers. I am actually wearing one of my favorite We Some Workers long sleeves. It says Buckets versus Everyone. Granted, his line is like a basketball themed line. So it's like get buckets. That's what the basketball stage players. I love watching or playing or wearing. Excuse me. I love wearing the basketball gear, but like this one says Buckets versus Everyone. It just makes me feel like I could have played basketball because I didn't even make the 6th grade B team. So that's when I knew my calling was in dance and cheer. I just didn't even waste my time. But
you tried.
I tried. I did. To the top VCoin donator or tipper, to the top VCoin tipper of this episode, you will receive your very own We Some Workers shirt. If you want this lime green, you gotta let me know because these are custom made. But if not, I will get your size. And this one says Just a Worker. This is another one of my favorite personal long sleeves. And it has the We Some Workers emblem on the back. Again, that's one of my favorite long sleeves. But we will send you the top VCoin tipper for today's episode. Will receive a free We Some Workers shirt as well as some We Some Workers little athletic bands.
Nice.
I may or may not throw in a hat. It depends. Matter of fact, VCoins. Let me let you know what VCoins are. I'm an independent contractor, and just like you tip your amazing service at a restaurant, go ahead and tip your favorite web show host, which is me, Kicking It with Keish, by clicking the blue diamond somewhere on your screen, and it has a V in the middle of it. So the top VCoin tipper for today's episode will receive some of our We Some Workers gear from the We Some Workers line. Follow them on Instagram at We Some Workers, and Workers is spelled with a Z at the end, as in zebra, not an S. So it's We Some Workers with a Z. Now, we do have one more business promotion. Miss Emile, go ahead and have the floor.
Oh, wow. Yes. As you can see today, I am highlighting One Hope Wines. I am a dealer for this company. We sell wines that give back to a cause, any cause that you can pretty much think of, far as childhood education, childhood hunger, women's rights. There is a cause that's being developed towards the Black Lives Matter movement. So any cause that you can think of, our wine will give back to it. And so what better way to drink but to also give? So I know we all love a little sip, so let's all make sure we're sipping for a cause. If you are interested in purchasing a bottle, you can click the link in my bio for One Hope Wine, and please make sure you are shopping with me. So thank you so much, and I hope to see all of you with your One Hope bottles.
Nice.
See, that put me down for a One Hope after the show because I want one too now.
Of course. I'll make sure both of you ladies get a bottle. This is one of my favorites, especially for events, birthdays. We got you.
Nice.
Nice. I like it. So make sure you listen. Make sure you heard what she said, y'all. Go check out the One Hope wine. Now, this show quote. Show theme or young and married. So today's show quote is: a good marriage isn't something you make and you keep making over and over again. The author is unknown. I thought that was cute.
Could you repeat it, Keisha? You were kind of fading in and out.
Okay, it says a good marriage isn't something you find, it's something you make and keep making over and over again. So for those that think marriage is just, come on a platter already good. They actually work, and the work doesn't stop after you say I do. That's where the real work begins. Because once you sign in papers, you are legally bound. Speaking of legally bound, let me go ahead and read the definition, because I like to give facts on this show. The definition of marriage is the union of two people as partners in a personal relationship. Historically, a union between a man and a woman, but because of days and new ages.
What is someone trying to call me?
It's getting disconnected, Keish.
It is legal. right?
Okay.
Yeah, you were disconnecting. Your signal was kind
It's coming
of
in
fading
and
in and
out.
out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's like, almost like a lag.
Is that a little?
Yes, right now that is, yeah.
This is better.
Yes.
Okay, great. Boom. All right. So, did y'all hear anything I said about the definition?
Not really.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now no big deal. We're good. We're gonna go. We're gonna jump into you ladies real quick. So, with Mrs. Taylor, Miss Garner.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor.
Hi, everyone.
Mrs. Taylor Thomas Garner is a Houston native with a residency in North Houston for the majority of her childhood and adolescence. Upon graduating from high school, she attended Prairie View A&M University of Business on campus of PV that she husband, Mr. Thomas Hayden Garner. Taylor holds a Master of Education in School Counseling from Angelo State University in San Angelo, Texas. She and her husband Thomas dated for 3 years prior to their engagement in 2015. Thomas and Taylor wed on January 28, 2017 in Waco, Houston, which is their current home.
I didn't.
Thomas and Taylor welcomed their first child, a hashtag pandemic baby, Mr. Paxton Hayden Garner. His home decor and fashion videos. What?
She would have to get out and come back in.
I know. Keisha, I don't know what's going on with the signal, but we're getting like every four or five words, and then it's like cutting out.
You're not getting my words.
Kind of. I can hear you now, but I think it's still gonna do the same thing.
Once from another
Taylor.
I can put the
Taylor. I know you can see the screen. Yeah. One of my best friends said that because I don't know, like, does it look like I'm staring into the camera?
Does it look like you're staring into the camera? I'm not really.
Yeah,
it does to me. I'm looking down because I see myself, so I'm like looking at myself.
Oh, okay, okay. See, I have it mounted up.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's why it probably looks weird. She's like, you're staring straight into the camera. I'm like, well, I'm looking at my screen.
Okay. I mean,
they said I'm right in
You're
it.
doing better than me, so I'm looking down, and that's not right. So
maybe it's because of how my camera, my phone is positioned. Does it look weird on your? Oh, they said I'm good now. Okay, really.
Is it better? Let me see. I can hear you. I can see. I can see you from the nose down, and I can hear you.
That's Keisha?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it
better?
I
can't see her at all. It's blank on my screen.
Shoot me.
Yes.
Did we break it? Are we good now?
Maybe so. Let's keep going. Let's see if we're good.
Hey, if
yep, it is.
Guests in the show, let me know if you can hear me clearly.
I can hear you, but it's cutting out at the beginning of your words.
Nope. No.
She may have to cut off her Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm. I can hear you now.
Can you see me now?
No, I see Juanita.
Can we see me?
Yeah.
Okay, Mary says she can see me. Can you hear me, Mary?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Samil?
Yes, I can hear you.
We can see you, but the quality is poor. Okay, Jesus, listen. The words say, if I call on you, I need you to fix this connection, Father. In the name of Jesus, amen.
That concerns you.
All right, so we can keep this. All right,
No, it seems like you sound well. We just can't see you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if they can see me on Facebook. Am I stuck? Video is choppy, but the audio is clear. On Facebook, I am absolutely stuck.
Yeah, you're stuck on Facebook?
Video is choppy, but the audio.
Mm.
This is annoying. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Hopefully, we're gonna keep going. We're just gonna have to tell me at any time if you can't hear me. I'm gonna keep talking, but if at any time you can't hear me, let me know.
Okay.
Deal?
Yes.
All right. Did we hear all of Taylor's bio?
Girl, it's good.
No.
It's cool. We can. I mean, hey y'all.
It has never done me like this in the past weeks. This is the first time this is happening. So I'm like, because I know if I end the broadcast, it ends the show, and then it cuts the broadcast, and it's ridiculous.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm gonna keep going. So if you can't hear me, tell me. So, we'll start off with Mr. Mills' bio. Samil is a native of Fort Worth, Texas, who currently resides in Atlanta, Georgia, the mecca for arts and entertainment. Performing all over the country, she has influenced and developed many people through teaching and acting. In 2015, Samil received a Bachelor of Arts in Science in Theater from the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, where she was an active member of the theater department and chartering member of the Alpha Psi Omega National Theater Honor Society at Iota Mu chapter. That was a mouthful. She has prepared for the next step in her life and her career by winning several awards and accolades for her talents. Her faith in God combined with her love of the arts has allowed her to soar into her calling. Prompting Samil to brand her own company, The Royal Flesh Incorporated. The company is devoted to inspiring and cultivating individuals in the interest in arts education. Artistry has always helped Samil express herself through positive outlets, and it is her mission to make these outlets available for future generations. It is her goal to continue spreading the message of self-love and confidence through Royal Flesh. Through this company, she strives to always prepare to work to do what God has called her to do. The wife, the mom, the mogul, Miss Samil, your boyfriend, excuse me. Pronounce your last name for me.
Cote.
Got it. Mrs. Samil Cote. And Ash met at her old job. He was there one day with one of her clients and didn't really notice her at first. His friend made a joke by saying, "She looks like what you need," and they both laughed. She says, "I knew that dating wasn't something I was interested in. I was focused on making money and fulfilling my dreams, so turning him down would be easy. He kept trying to talk, and he finally mustered up the courage to ask me for my telephone number. I had a Texas number at the time, so the area code was 682, and Atlanta has a 678 area code, which is pretty close. I guess he was writing so fast, he put 678 instead, and a couple of days later, his friend came back to her job jokingly and said that she had gave his friend the wrong number. She denied these accusations and sent his friend with the correct number. He called her that same day. And they went out later that night. She said something else is funny about this story. Miss Marquisha, who was one of her bridesmaids, went on their first date with them.
Oh my God. Whoa.
Mrs. Samil Cote as well has a son named Ashmil. And he is 2 years old now.
Yeah.
And she says he is super active.
Mm.
And both of you as moms and moles and amazingness and wives, let's not forget the reason you guys are on the show today, as young and married wives, the definition of married says he or she is legally or formally recognizing the union of them two as partners in a personal relationship, historically and in some jurisdictions specifically a union between a man and a woman. But we live in the new ages now where same-sex marriage has been allowed. Is it all 50 states yet?
Mm-hmm.
I think just about. Or did it? I think it recently was all 50.
Yeah.
Don't quote us. Ask Google. Don't ask. But we know,
look, let's not get fake news.
We know it's legal. Same-sex marriage is legal in majority of the places here in the U.S. now.
Right.
As the world is changing. Miss Taylor, I'll start with you first. How did you know? Is there such a question of for a woman? Okay, I'm ready for marriage. Like, is it just a place where you get, or is there a moment that we as women like it finally click in your head? Like, okay, I'm ready to be somebody's wife or something.
You know, that's funny. That's a good question, because I think when you are not married, you think to yourself, at what point does it, like, am I ready? You know what I'm saying? Like, when does that happen? I think I can only speak for myself personally. My ready for marriageness, I guess you can say, like how ready I was, really didn't come until I met the person that I knew I was okay spending the rest of my life with, if that makes sense. So like I had a long-term relationship before I met and started dating Thomas, and there was this thing in my mind where people were like, oh, you're going to get married to this guy, this is going to be your husband. And it was like, I don't think that's it. You know, like that, I don't feel like that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So when that relationship ended and I had time to like clear my mind, clear my space and my head space and everything, and kind of for me personally, I needed to get closer to God, because it was so many transitional things that were happening in my life. It was at that moment where I was like, once I met him and we started getting much closer, and it was like he consumed like all of my thoughts and my days, and it was like him. Then it was like, you know what? I was ready to be married to somebody. I knew I was ready to be married to someone. It wasn't that person, but now I know it's him, and now I know I'm ready, if that makes sense. But I think I did the work before I even met Thomas, so that prepared me. So once he was in my life and we were together, it was like, okay, this is the person, so I know I'm ready.
Okay, what about you, Samil?
I think for me, it might have been a little different, because I know Taylor spoke of like transitions. Mm-hmm. For me, I've had to be a wife and a mom at the same time, more so a mom before being a wife. So I've kind of had to learn all of these things about myself while trying to maneuver with mastering both titles, if that makes sense, which was, really hard. I think I just got to a place where, well, of course, like I knew I wanted to be married, and I knew that, he was supposed to be my husband, or he's my husband. But I think far as just totally accepting the fact that, wow, I'm a wife, and, I have the two people now who have to depend on me, and I have to, be there for. It was a lot to, understand at one time. So, I've had to do the work while being in the roles, which some people might feel like is backwards, but for me, I don't think I could have done it another. I mean, I probably could have done it another way, but I think this was the way that was laid out for me. So, like I feel like I'm finally at a place of understanding, why my way went this way.
Samil, you were learning on the job. On the job training. You were learning as you
go. Yes.
So what would you two say that are two things you had to do, or that you noticed that helped you prepare to be a wife? Like, Was it upbringing? Was it examples before you? Was it instilled in you, or was it something you went and researched? Is it something that you've always wanted? Like, did you ever see yourself not married? Like, if it was, God's choice for you not to be married, did you ever see yourself not married?
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen myself not married. I think I was one of those girls who, like, I had the Davis Bridal book, cutting it out, putting it in a notebook. Like, I always knew that I wanted to get married. I didn't know what age or when, but I knew. It's like I had that discernment that this was going to be a part of me. I've always been a giver and a nurturer, and I felt like because, and I really didn't have like examples of a wife, honestly. I did have my grandmother who was married to my grandfather for a long, many years. So I had that example, but as far as, my parents are divorced. And so I just kind of felt like I had to win at this. I think that was a lot of my push to make sure that I have a successful marriage, just because of that previous, experience that I really wasn't there for the, the downfall or whatever, but I knew like I want to have something and I want to be successful at it, and that's just a part of my personality anyway. Like, I'm a go-getter, and like I love being at the top, and I felt like when I got married, I was gonna kill the game, but it has totally been the opposite. Like, I've had to work. I'm like, no, this is supposed to be easy for me, but it's not, like she said, I'm steady working on the job, and, I don't regret it at all. I just have to take it day by day, but yeah, I always knew that I was going to be a wife.
So I think for me, I have grandparents who've been married a long time. My parents have been married close to 40 years now. They've been married a long time, 30-something years, 30 plus years. So my example, the example that I have in my life has been great. I have a lot of married people around me, aunts, everybody married. But for me personally, I've always been like the person that kind of snaps off at the mouth. I just kind of I was kind of like the person that my parents always had to tell me, Taylor, you can't say that. Taylor, you can't say that. And so I thought personally that it was going to be a special man. Okay. That was going to be able to handle this. And I thought to myself, like, it's possible that I won't be married because all the wives that I saw were these women who I felt were just very like, what it ended up being, what the example of marriage is, they would die to themselves for their marriage, which is kind of what we do in, we die to ourselves when we're in our relationship with Christ. So it's the same concept. And so for me, I was like, I ain't trying to be submissive. I don't want no man trying to run me. My parents raised myself and my sister to be very independent women, like very, like, you got groceries, you got 3 flights of stairs, make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't waiting on a man. I wasn't dependent on a man, but I knew that it would be nice to have someone in my life. So I don't know that I just automatically assumed I would be married, but I did approach my relationships in the vein that at some point, being someone's wife is going to have to be me someday if a man can handle it. So maybe I should govern myself accordingly. And so when I met my husband and he was my boyfriend, 2 things that I had to kind of get myself in line with were, one of those was the submission thing, and knowing that my husband is a godly man and the things that he's asking me to submit are not things that he's wanting, but are things that he's getting from Christ. And I'm following Christ through the embodiment of my husband. That was the first thing. And then the second thing was learning how to let go of my independence a little bit and letting my husband be who he is, letting him be, even in our courtship when he was my fiance, letting him be that person in my life and not feeling like I have to do every single thing because I was so used to doing it, and just letting him take that position, if you will.
Yeah. Now I will say,
and Taylor, I bet that was hard,
girl.
Because
I still be like,
because I'm super bossy.
Yes,
super bossy.
yes, I feel like that, girl.
Now I will say, being single, as in not married myself, the the thought of having to be submissive, as like just like you and probably you too, Samia, I was raised to be very independent, like to make sure I could do things on my own, make sure I did them on my own, and not to wait on some man to come do it. But at the same time, I was also raised as in the house where the Southern gentleman was a thing, and to be my parents always taught me to be submissive to those that deserve it. So don't just be submissive to some man just because he a man. No. Make sure make sure one of your requirements when you're dating or courting is that, or anybody's courting me, make sure that if I see myself getting serious with him, this is somebody that I could submit to. Like, does he deserve me to be submissive to him? Because if not, we know me. I like you said, that I talk real slick. I'll say something real slick if I don't respect you. Not even just if I don't respect you. If I don't feel like you deserve me to be submissive to you, I'm gonna say something real slick. 99% of the time, you will feel real disrespect.
But people get the word submiss, like they get confused on what it actually is.
Submission is not like bow down to your husband,
right?
Yeah, like he is hand and foot made. That's not submission. And then as women, I have a lot of viewers and fans that watch my show that may or may not be Christians or may not follow the Christian religion. But if the Bible, if you are a Christian, the Bible tells us to be submissive. Wives, be submissive to your husbands. But it doesn't give much detail, and a lot of people put that detail to submission. And submission, like we said, is not follow this man hand and foot. It is be submissive to this man as he guides you and I guide him. So I'm guiding you guys as a whole through him, like Taylor said, by way of her husband. So that's another thing that I really wish that a lot of young women would grasp hold on to. Submission doesn't always mean, give all of yourself to this man and do what he say hand and foot.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of people have already opted out of marriage because they think like, well, I'm not just about to do what he say because he said, or, or like you said, feel like someone's taking their independence. Like, I feel like you can still have that independence, but in a respectful way. Yeah. So, I mean, they just got to do the work.
What do you two feel about the saying, oh man, I just seen it in my head. Forgive me. That's crazy. I lost it.
Come back.
Okay, we'll come back to it. That is so crazy. Anywho, each bride you answer. What is one word of advice for young couples dating? Or looking to be married one day. I will say that. What's some advice that you could give the single woman population out there? If you're not that you're going to find a husband or like, oh, I'm gonna settle on this marriage, but like if you could give one word of advice to a young woman that wants to be married.
My word of advice would be, don't ever assume that just because you see so many people's relationships online and on social media that seems so perfect, never assume that things are as glittery and gold, because there is deep down in the trenches, get your nails dirty, get your clothes dirty type of work that goes into marriage. And the thing about marrying a person is that no matter how picture perfect your dating life has been, you are both human people and you will fail one another at some point. That doesn't mean you're going to cheat on each other, but there will be some ways that you will have that will disappoint the other. There will be some decisions that you make that the other will not necessarily be fond of. And you have to understand that you're humans. Okay. And so you have to choose the human whose dirt you're willing to deal with and who's willing to deal with your dirt, and y'all can make a dirt sandwich and make it taste as good as possible. Like, because we're not perfect. So yeah, never assume that social media couples and YouTube, because we're in the generation where teenagers love them some social media and some YouTube, and they think everybody whose little relationship gets 50,000 likes is just perfect, and that ain't what it is. It's just not,
That's exactly what I was about to say. That was the thought I was fishing for in my head. What do y'all feel about the same relationship goals? Like, I'm not talking about Pastor Michael Todd and the book. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how people like, oh, their relationship goals. Like. Okay, personally, I feel like nobody else's relationship should be your goals because, like you said, we don't know what type of dirt they got to put up with. I don't. I don't want. I I try not to make in my head. I want their relationship because you may not know what she's had to put up with for that relationship. It's like or he like right
Yeah.
while you yearning for that woman that you keep seeing somebody with, you may not, or like somebody's with as far as relationship goals go, you may not know what type of dirt that man's had to put up with. Now, granted, there's a lot of people that have relationships and like one of their significant others got 5 kids and that was okay, and they make their relationship work. For me, that's a no-go because that's 5 different kids, and if it's 5 different kids, it's 5 different baby mamas, and that's 10 different problems. I don't work here.
That's a lot.
Not putting in that much work, and so I don't want that relationship go. I don't want what that relationship took just to get that picture. Pictures,
people only allow you to see what they want you to see. So
yeah, for sure. When it comes to
you can't make somebody's life go.
And people will see a cute picture of somebody like, oh, relationship goals. Like, no, you just want that pose. You want that relationship pose.
Yeah, those pictures.
Trust me, it's a lot behind.
That's a little tough for me is because since I'm a teacher, that's my non-daily job, and so in my profession, I do deal with a lot of kids who do not examples, and I think a lot of times younger people are big on the relationship goals thing because a lot of these kids are raising themselves. Let's just be real about this. Like, it's a lot of kids who use social media, and that's kind of what's helping show them the way, if you would. And so I think the whole concept of goals, like, you see a big house, ooh, goals. You see somebody driving a Range Rover, ooh, goals. You see this purple, goals. You know what I'm saying? So are you saying that it's goals that you be in a relationship with someone who's committed to you and you're committed to them and you all are married? Is that the goal? Because if that's the goal, that's great. If you're looking at me and my husband and you think that we are relationship goals, that's a little different because you have to deal with whomever you choose, and that's gonna be you. If you can make it look like goals, that's great, but you have to be willing to go through the work that it takes to be in that relationship. To even get to the point where someone can want to be goals like you, or put you as their goals. So I don't know, that's a tricky one.
Yeah. What about you, Samia?
Well, just like I said earlier, like you can take, for example, Taylor and I don't know about her marriage, but I see her Instagram and I'm like, oh my God, they're a beautiful couple. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, look at their family. But we're here to testify to say, we have beautiful families, but we're working, we're learning these people, we're gaining this experience every day, something new. People change, like you said, we're human. So it's like, are you willing to learn someone else while learning yourself, while adjusting to the changes that you're going through, the transitional periods that you're going through? Like, is all of that worth it for you? And that falls into that, the love that you have for that person. So I mean, for me, I don't ever really think, it could have been some point, probably when I was in college, that I was looking at someone and was like goals. But now being in, a marriage and a long relationship, I don't really pay attention to that stuff because I know someone can easily look at me and say goals, but they don't know the work that I'm putting in. Even when it comes to being a mom, people always compliment me on how I'm, interacting with my son and my child and us as a family. But they don't know, like, I had to gain patience and I had to learn this child, and learn what he likes and how he is and what's his personality. And he's a whole human in himself, so that he may not feel like being bothered with me some days. So it's just a lot when you're a mom and a wife, to, I'm not gonna say tolerate, but just, just be there for. So, it's hard. I'm not going to be the one to sit here and say it's easy. It's very hard while you're dealing with your own emotions. You have to deal with other people's emotions. And, you just have to really be patient with yourself and learn, how to manage everybody's situation as well as yourself. So
okay. Now,
that's my take.
what's one thing that you wish you knew before marriage?
Ooh.
I think I wrote that down because you said take notes.
Something you wish you knew before getting married.
He ain't never gonna want to know. He's never going to know where to choose a restaurant. Like, he's never gonna know what he wants to eat, and it's always gonna be on you. So you need to know where you want to eat, because my husband will never ever know where he wants to eat, and it's always on me. And I'm like, I want shrimp every day. Like, do you want shrimp?
Because you're gonna change it. You're gonna change it. If
There
you
you go. I don't even eat steak, you know. So, I don't know. One thing I wish I knew. Samil, do you have yours? Cause
I think it's more so like just the self-work, you know, just making sure I do, or I mean, I'm already here, but what I would suggest to people is just kind of making sure that you understand what it is that you're about to get into, basically, and understand that, you know, you're growing, you're learning. And I mean, my stuff kind of keeps circling back to growing and learning, you know. Just, I think, you know, I wish I had known that I was going to have to have way more patience, you know. Just I think that's it, you know, just understanding that it's a process.
Word.
And not expecting it to be glitter and gold, like how everything else may have aligned, you know, itself in your life. You know, like I told you before, I'm used to, okay, I do this, oh, it's bomb, you know, it works, it's 100%, you know. But with this is actually a humbling experience for me.
Word.
Because it's not easy. And even when I think I got it, I still don't got it. So, you know, I'm really having to just chill, basically. Like, you know, Samil, you're not perfect, you know. And I believe that I've always been, when I say people pleaser, it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm going to do this for you, but it's like, I love looking good. You know, I love the people to see the best of me. But with this particular thing, it's not always the best of me. And I've had to learn to accept that it's okay, and that you're human. You're not a robot. You're not gonna be perfect at everything, and it doesn't matter what everybody thinks,
right?
You know, and I think that's the toughest part for me, is just accepting that this is my own journey, and I can't care about what everybody else has to say.
And what about I know young ladies, we are close in age. What about age? Was age a pressure for you? You know, like a lot of, especially being Southern Belles as we all are, a lot of pressure for me, it's a lot of pressure to turn 30, and they're like, okay, so you're almost 30. Have you thought about trying to settle down? Have you thought about trying to have kids? Have you thought about it? I'm like, first off, this is a lot. Actually gave my nephew melatonin, so I'm not sure if y'all really want me to have kids. So, like, was age a pressure for you?
For me, it wasn't. I think mainly because Thomas and I were dating for a while, and he's in ministry. He's a minister, a preacher, and so I think the two groups of people that get married the fastest is preachers and people in the military. Like, those are people that don't be wasting time, because there are certain things in life that you're trying to get to, and it, like, if my husband was to accept a pastorate right now in another state, one of the first questions they're going to ask is he married? Now, that's not the reason we got married, but a lot of military people, they kind of make it happen because they need to go ahead and get married so they can do what they need to do. So for us, I don't think it was age as much it was, we knew it was time, and it was like, what you waiting on? Like, we were dating for, what did I say, 4-5 years? We were dating for a while before we actually were engaged. So it was like, I know as much of this person as I'm gonna know, you know, before I get married to him. And so it wasn't really an age thing, but a time thing. Like, how long you go? I mean, you know, how long are you going to date before you just go ahead and settle down? And that was kind of what we did.
Yeah. What about you, Samil? Did you have any outside pressure or anything that pressured you?
I think it was I mean, not necessarily pressure, but the thoughts, because I was pregnant while we were dating. And in the back of my mind, of course, like I told y'all before, I had a plan, or I thought I had a plan for my life. And of course, being married was something I've always envisioned happening first. So in the back of my mind, I was like, and of course, growing up in a Christian home and in church, I was like, man, I'm supposed to be married first, but I never really expressed that to him, because I never want anybody to feel like pressured to do something or to, make a decision based off, my feelings. And I always wanted it to be organic. So I may have shared it with, a friend or so, but I never really like told him that. So that's why it did catch me off guard or by surprise because we had talked about it. So I knew that was definitely in the plan and that we were on the same page, but I didn't know that it was going to happen as soon as it did. So, I never really had any pressure from my parents or family, but, the thought was in my mind that, hey, I want to get married, especially when we have a child to have a, stable home for him to grow up in. But
so what?
Yeah, that was pretty much.
How long do you guys think? And this is the personal question. So how long do you guys think is okay to date before you two are married? Like, how long is long enough? Or is there really a time limit you can put on it?
I don't think there's a time limit because, I mean, with my husband and I, there's a 9-year age difference. So, I feel like he was in a more mature state of mind to know, like, I know that this woman is supposed to be who I'm going to marry. So, I mean, for us, people may consider it happened pretty fast. I think it was about like a 7 to 8 month process that we were dating, and then he proposed. Now that I think about it, like, it did happen pretty quickly. So, I mean, I don't
That's true. You see, the thing is, the older you are, I think, so I'm 30 now. So if I just met Thomas like this year and we weren't married and I was like looking to get married, I would probably be scoping out characteristics in the first year and a half. By year 2, if you're not trying to settle yourself down, because you're 30, you're a grown man, 30 years old, you don't know what you want. I don't know. So, but I was 20. We started dating in 2012. I was 22 years old. I wasn't ready to be no wife at 22. Not to a preacher, okay? If you get what I'm saying, I wasn't refined enough for that. The Lord hadn't done enough work on me, okay? For me to be nobody like at 22 or 23. So when we got engaged at 25, then it was like, okay, cool. And I still got married when I was 26 years old. So it's like, that was still pretty young. But if I'm 32, 33, you probably got a cool 9 to 12 months. And if you don't know that you want to be with me for real, I probably don't really need to be with you. I mean, but I'm at a different age. My husband is actually a year younger than I am. So he. But I
okay.
He's like a cougar. I'm like, first of all,
no, that's not
thank you. Not quite.
Like 3 to 4 years.
But
so I will say I'll be 30 next year. So I turned 29 this year. I'll be 30 next year, next July. And the pressures of turning 30, and it's more like as a single young lady, I never want any man to feel like I'm pressuring you to marry me. Like, because marriage is something you shouldn't be pressured into. I'm not pressuring any man to marry me, but I do let men know I'm somebody's wife. I'm not just somebody's girlfriend. Girlfriend is a temporary term. Period. And I'm not going to say that I've been molded and shaped into this wife, but I'm pretty sure after all these talks that I've had with the Lord, and I keep seeing these kids, I'm not sure where they're going to come from unless I have them. So I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be, I'm going to be, I am somebody's wife. And I don't want.
That's good energy. Keep that energy.
But I never want guys to feel that. I did have a guy I was talking to years back, maybe a year or two back. And he told me, he stopped talking. He tried to ghost me at first, but when he seen that I really didn't care about him ghosting, he was like, all right, well, you don't care that I'm going. You're not going to ask me why I stopped talking to you. I was like, no, if you needed your space, you needed your space. I don't want nobody to feel pressured. He was like, well, to be honest, you give me relationship energy, and I'm not ready to be that vulnerable with somebody. Like, I'm scared to be that vulnerable with somebody, and I know if I get with you, I can't be playing games.
That's
so I'd rather us.
But that is awesome for him to express that, because men do not
appreciate that. Like, it wasn't nothing that I thought I did wrong. Granted, I am not perfect, but I know I bring a lot to the table, as well as I have flaws. So I mean, maybe I don't know. I didn't know what happened, so I figured the time or two, time come around, he'll say something. But I was grateful that he told me that, because it's like nowadays trying to date and dudes, that'll be the reason
they know
why they stop talking to you.
They're not where you are.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna. Granted, I'm not trying to date nobody and get married 3 months later. That ain't that. I don't think that's my calling. I don't think that's it, because I'm a little too chicken.
But just like
you said, I'm gonna let you know up front. I'm not here to waste. We don't waste each other's time. If we kind of get to dating and we feel like I kind of don't want to death do you part you, because I'm the reason you do part to death. So yeah, let's not even waste each other's time. And yeah, it works. A lot of people are like, oh, you come on strong. I'm not coming up strong. I'm just letting you know that I want to be somebody's wife one day. And if you don't see if you don't see your wife in me, let me know that. And if I don't see my husband in you, because I'm be talking to God about you. And if I don't see my husband in you, I'm going to go ahead and let you know, hey, bruh, let's not even waste each other's time anymore. We can be friends. We can be friends.
But just like he sensed that, people pick up on that those qualities that you exude. Because I know a lot of women now are like, well, what's the point in acting like this or doing things a good way when men are not going to acknowledge it or notice? No, just like he noticed that, hey, this girl is basically above me right now. I'm going to just let her know and chill on her. But like you don't get that all the time. So I definitely would have a, level of respect for him to, communicate that to me. Because, like, just let me know. And I wish more men would let women know that, hey, it's not that you're not a great person. It's not that I don't want to be with you, but it's just I'm not ready to settle down. Right. Because that would just stop a lot of stress and insecurities and women doubting themselves and just doing a bunch of crazy stuff.
And we're becoming, with YouTube being moms, I know a big pressure on me again is the whole turning 30, and people are like, it's almost time. And I'm like, who told y'all that now I understand doctors say you shouldn't, it's hard to have babies after a certain age, but like, did y'all have the pressure that I'm getting with you getting close to such and such, you should probably start trying to have babies now?
Baby number 2, yeah. People are like, okay, give him a sibling, but people don't even understand like what you may be going through on your personal journey. I told y'all that, hey, I'm trying to get back in boss mode, so let me enjoy this, me finding myself again in my voice. Because when you become a mom and a wife, it consumes you sometimes, and you forget that you are this bomb human being. So I think for me, that's what's important right now, is finding my voice and making sure that I've done enough for myself while being a mom and a wife. But, as far as business ideas and, establishing my career and, getting out there and do more productions and movies, whatever the case may be. So, I think that's important for me right now, is just making sure I find my voice. So, I mean, that pressure to have another child is a lot on a person. Because like you said, you 30 and they're telling you where's baby number 1, but a lot a people are baby number 2, and I'm like, just give me time,
My baby is 4 months old next week, or this week on Tuesday, and somebody literally today was like, "Oh, is he turning over? He's getting out the way for y'all to have another." No, he's not. Like, no, he's not.
Can I accept this?
I promise you, my son does not need me to be pregnant right now. Like, nobody in the world needs for me to be pregnant right now, because that is a lot on the person. Like, now the good part is my parents are pretty awesome in the fact that they never, ever said a mumbling word to me and my husband about having a baby. Like, never. Like, my mama didn't say, well, we getting old, you don't think you are. Nothing. So when we finally announced that we were pregnant, they were so happy. My daddy was like, "It's about time." I'm like, "Wait a minute! I didn't even think y'all cared about grandchildren." You know what I'm saying? Because they were that like intentional about not pressuring us. Now the thing about it is, again, my husband works in the church, so all the church folk were like, "When y'all gonna have a baby? When y'all gonna?" It was like, "Oh my Lord! Like, please get out of my uterus." But I knew that was like, I filter out what needs to be filtered out and bring in what needs to come in. So as far as my family, none of my family was really pressuring us to have children because they knew we wanted to travel. We were not interested in having children until we had certain places that we traveled. We wanted that to be over with because we knew when we have a child, we're not going to be able to do some of this stuff. And then we just so happen to have a baby in the pandemic. So we really can't go nowhere. So, I mean,
Yeah.
There you go, pandemic mama. And so, hey, but no, nobody in my family pressured me, but them church folk, baby, they will pressure you to have a child, okay? When y'all gonna have a baby.
Now,
bless you.
Excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you. Now,
like everybody look.
Right, I'm like, I tell you, it's not
Don't
a
give
wrong.
my
I just
man.
need to calm down. So, guys, due to we got 4 minutes left in the show. So again, if you are the top V coin tipper, that means that blue diamond on your screen with the V in the middle. And the top V coin tipper, I will send you your We Some Workers or some Get Buckets, Just Buckets, Buckets versus Everybody brand paraphernalia, as well as Mrs. Cote.
Yes.
And Mrs. Garner. We did not get to everything on the list today. So that means I will be inviting you ladies back so we can finish this young and married conversation, as well as add the mom, wife, life title to our third episode. And this is only episode 1, so I hope y'all caught that. Y'all come back for the next 2 episodes. Great. So So yeah, again, guys, subscribe to our YouTubes. Follow us on Instagram. I'm at Instakish. Miss Emil is at Royal_Palm. And Miss Taylor is at Taylor.Denise. And yeah. Oh, and if you need spelling for their Instagram names, it's in the show description for today. You can always go back and watch this show just in case anybody didn't get to watch the full show. You can always go back and watch it. I still need a top V coin tipper for this free merchandise. My name is Keisha Carter. You're watching Kicking It with Keish, and we kicked it. Bye, guys. See you next week. I'm about to call you, ladies.
Sounds good.
Okay.